is I'm against race-based reparations because I think it will create more division, not less.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Welcome to Racist of the Week, where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also, laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page, and definitely leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. Today's nominee, failed GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Huh, what's that? You sorry for pressing Van Jones?
And the smug, condescending way that he just spews this poison out is very, very dangerous, because he won't stop Trump, but he's going to outlive Trump by about 50 years. And you're watching the rise of an American demagogue that is a very, very despicable person. Yeah. And I was shaking listening to him talk.
A few moments later.
And I'm not going to attribute that to your comment, because whatever it is. But for our family, you know what? Publicly I didn't do it, but for our family, yeah, it pissed us the heck off, actually. And so the reality is, I don't try to engage in rhetoric that gets other people in danger of bodily harm. But I do think that if somebody's going to, even if you didn't intend to, provoke that kind of ire on my family, yeah, in that week it landed with me.
No, this is not even for that. We wouldn't nominate you for that, but touche. I must say how thrilled I am that this day has finally come upon us, because I've been waiting to honor Vivek with Racist of the Week for a long time.
You took issue with comments from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She reportedly said, quote, "We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice." About that, you said, "These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK."
Repeatedly now, referring to Massachusetts Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley and author Ibram Kendi as, quote, grand wizards of the modern KKK. Now, I understand you differ with both of them politically, and probably with me. But as a graduate of Harvard and Yale universities, I believe you must be aware the Ku Klux Klan is not a political party. It's a terrorist organization. Historians view the Klan as the driving force behind lynchings of blacks in the American South, more than 4,000 people murdered from 1877 to 1950. And the group is linked to numerous other acts of racial violence continuing through the civil rights movement to the present day. You're running to be the leader of the free world, so your choice of words matter. Have you taken any time to reflect upon the possibility that comparing your political rivals to murderous terrorists might put their lives in danger at a time when hate crimes are on the rise? Or do you just don't care?
Now, those frequent viewers of the channel know that there are two things that really get up under my cocoa butter. One, people that are born on third base think they hit a triple and it's our job to carry them home. People of privilege who use said wealth that they did nothing to attain to look down on and subjugate other people.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, "That's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone." So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
The second being racism that comes from non-white people. When people come into this country and feel the need to insert themselves in our long-standing racial family business for the reason of denigrating black people.
Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most wretched holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip: if you don't like America, find Get the fuck out.
Which is something we've covered quite a bit here at Racist of the Week.
We've never been a racist country. I faced racism when I was growing up.
Come again?
We've never been a racist country. I faced racism when I was growing up.
One more time.
We've never been a racist country. I faced racism when I was growing up.
Nikki, I need you to help me with something. There's also this tweet that you posted, as well as your own family history. Your family only immigrated because civil rights leaders reformed America's racist immigration laws in 1965 to allow Asians to immigrate. Her father then taught at an HBCU. Then there's the existence and necessity for HBCUs in the first place, which could also refute your point. Oh, I get it now. Individual people can be racist, but America isn't racist. So those people who discriminated against you were lone wolves, and your family, those were also lone wolves, and Black people unable to attend the PWI, lone wolves, the slave-owning founding fathers, lone wolves, the Civil War, lone wolves, Jim Crow, lone wolves, Birth of a Nation, lone wolves, redlining, lone wolves, the Southern Strategy, lone wolves, the Indian Removal Act, lone wolves. That's a wolf pack you got there. You know what? We're gonna need a name for this wolf pack. Let's call it Sam, Uncle Sam. Well, Vivek decided to give his thoughts on reparations, and he made sure this week would be his week.
So here's my perspective. I was asked about this when I came to the south side of Chicago a year ago, and my position on this has not changed, is I'm against race-based reparations because I think it will create more division,
what
not
about
less.
race-based discrimination that occurred in this country for
Yeah, so let me just clarify one aspect. I think there was a time and place for it in the Reconstruction era. But today, when we actually bring back racial reparations, it actually causes greater discrimination, not more. I think we're seeing a wave, a rise in anti-Black and I think other forms of racism in the country. But part of the reason I think we're seeing it is there's no better way to foster racial animus than to take something away from someone based on their skin color.
So don't
Have we
give
done
Black
that in this
people
country?
justice because it'll make other people upset.
Well, because it's going to create more division and be self-defeating. I think it's actually going to set Black Americans back because it will cause.
But Black Americans continue to live in that sense.
I want to move out of
one example.
I want to move out of the middle of this.
Yeah,
just
sure.
because I feel like this. So let me say this.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what? Let's take these one at a time.
I'm against race-based reparations.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop us right there. You are against race-based reparations. What we gonna base it on hair color? Huh? We gonna base it on shoe size? I'm sorry. Was slavery race-based? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the Black people. It was the people with high blood pressure. Yeah, everybody who had high blood pressure had to be enslaved. I think it was based on who was eating too much chicken.
I'm against race-based reparations because I think it will create more division, not less.
It would create more division. Wow, you are the greatest judge that a perpetrator could ever ask for. Hey, I'm sorry they stole your car, but no, we can't give it back because it would create division. They would get upset if we asked them to give the car back. So no, we can't. Do you think the theft of labor created division?
Discrimination that occurred in this country for
Yeah, so let me just clarify one aspect. I think there was a time and place for it in the Reconstruction era. But today, when we actually bring back racial reparations, it actually causes greater discrimination, not more.
Okay. So, Andrew Johnson would love that, who was the president who took over for Abraham Lincoln. So you successfully were able to wait us out. Hey, I know that we have no justification to not give reparations now. I'm just going to kick the can down the road till we can find some more arguments to how unwieldy it would become to give reparations. That way, we never have to give it. What's that? I owe you $20. There was a time and place to give you that $20, And that would have been when I got my check a week ago. But giving it to you now would just create more division in my household.
I think we're seeing a rise in anti-black and I think other forms of racism in the country.
Well, at least we can acknowledge that. In fact, I'm looking at some.
I think we're seeing a rise in anti-black and I think other forms of racism in the country. But part of the reason I think we're seeing it is there's no better way to foster racial animus than to take something away from someone based on their skin color.
Part of the reason we are seeing a rise in anti-black racism and racial animus is because of taking something away because of their skin color. What did we take away? What did we? Because the reparations actually ain't happened yet. So I'm just curious. Did some of us get some reparations? And that's what caused the rise in anti-black racism? I'm confused as to exactly what has been taken away. I'll tell you what was taken away: generational wealth from us. And I like how all of this racial animus at things being taken away is squarely aimed at black people. You ain't thinking about the animus that might come from generations of taking things away and not giving what was owed. Oh, that animus don't matter.
So don't give black people justice because it'll make other people upset.
Well, because it's going to create more division and be self-defeating. I think it's actually going to set black Americans back.
Oh, boy. You know, before I make decisions for myself and my people, I always ask Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah, I always ask Vivek Ramaswamy, what is best for me? You know, because he knows what is best, not only for me, but for all black people. You know, I don't know if y'all knew this, but black people, before we decide what is best for us, we ask Vivek.
Because it's going to create more division and be self-defeating. I think it's actually going to set black Americans back.
That's funny, because when it comes to corporations having gifts bestowed upon them or not paying their fair share of taxes, the idea is always that would just trickle down to the rest of the people. Oh, no, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to boost the economy. Funny how that doesn't work for black people, though. Hold on, I just got to send a quick email. I will not be paying my mortgage any longer because that would ultimately be self-defeating to the bank.
Because it will cause,
but black Americans continue to live in that zone.
I want to move out of the middle of this.
Yeah. He stood there for a long time, being in the frame for the reparations conversation. I can say that right now. He stood there much longer than I would have been able to, that's for sure. Now, one thing I have been doing recently is trying to put something positive at the end of Racist of the Week, and this week will be no different because I have such a litany of things to choose from. Here, I would like to give a shout out to Maxwell Frost, congressman from Florida, and the first representative we've had in this country from Gen Z.
You asked multiple questions.
I did not ask him a question.
You certainly did. You said, did you see this?
Time has expired. Gentleladies, time's expired. Chair now recognizes Mr. Frost from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I get into it, it's interesting to hear my colleague just now talk about disavowing white supremacists when in 2022, she spoke at an event led by white supremacists and white nationalist Nick Fuentes, and when asked about it, doubled down on it and said, we're going to focus on people, not labels. So get out of here with that damn hypocrisy.
Who laid it down at the DNC and asked some questions that I myself have wanted answered.
This election is about every drop of water that we consume and every breath we breathe. Fighting the climate crisis is patriotic. And unlike Donald Trump, our patriotism is more than some damn slogan on a hat. It's about actually giving a damn about the people who live in this country. Because when you love somebody, you want them to have clean air. When you love somebody, you want them to have safe drinking water. And when you love somebody, you want them to have a dignified job. And so, America, it's simple. Let's get to work and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for our planet, for our future, for our present, and for our people. God bless.
Very well done, Maxwell Frost. Congratulations to you, sir. But special congratulations to Vivek Ramaswamy.
I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
You are our Racist of the Week. And don't worry, we'll be back here again. Sincere thanks to everybody who's reached out to me and submitted suggestions for videos. Keep them coming. I take submissions for ideas for a video, suggestions for Racist of the Week. If you have something that just troubles you, or you just want to send me a note, because I love getting those notes, go ahead and shoot me an email at reese@reesewaters.com. I also have a newsletter that I send out periodically, so you'll be receiving that as well. You can also sign up on my website, reesewaters.com.